Little Mabel blew a bubble and it caused a lot of trouble. Such a lot of trouble. Such a lot of bubble trouble in a bibble bobble way. For it broke away from Mabel as it bobbed across the table, where it bobbed over Baby and it wafted him away. The baby didn't quibble, he began to smile and dribble, for he liked to wibble wobble of the bubble in the air. But Mabel ran for cover as the bubble bobbed over her head, and she shouted out for Mother, who was putting up her hair. At the sudden cry of trouble, Mother took off the double, for the squealing left her reeling, made her terrified and tense. Saw the bubble for a minute, with the baby bobbing in it, as it bubbled by the letter box and bobbed across the fence. In her garden, Krista Gribble had begun to cry and cable at her lazy brother, Greville, reading novels in his bed. But she bellowed, "Gracious, Greville!" And she grovelled on the gravel, when the baby and the bubble bibble bobbled overhead. In a garden folly, Tibble and his jolly mother Sybil sat and played a game of Scrabble, shouting shrilly as they scored. But they both began to babble and to scrabble with the Scrabble as the baby and the bubble bibble bobble by the board. Then crumbled Mr. Cobble and his wife, a crabby couple, set out arm in arm to hobble and to squabble down the lane. But the baby and the bubble turned their hobble to a joggle as they raced away like rockets and have never lived again. Even feeble Mrs. Threeble in a muddle with her needle, matching pink and purple patches for a pretty patchwork quilt. When her older sister told her, tossed the quilt across her shoulder as she set off at a totter in her tattered tartan kilt. At the shops, a busy rabble met to gossip and to gabble, started gibbering and goggling as the bubble bobbled by. Mother, hand in hand with Mabel, flew as fast as she was able, very troubled lest the bubble burst or vanish in the sky. After them came Greville Gribble with his nightshirt, with his novel, all about haunted hovel, held on high above his head, followed by his sister Krista, though her boots had made a blister. Then came Tibble, pulling Sybil, with a Scrabble for a sled. After them came the Cobble couple, came curveting at the double. Then a jogger, quite a slogger, joined the crowd, who called and coughed. Up above the puzzled people, way up toward the chapel steeple, rose the bubble, with the baby slowly lifting aloft. There was such a flummadiddle, Mabel huddle in the middle. Ken and Dabble left the chapel, followed by the chapel choir, and the treble singer Abel threw an apple core at Mabel, as the baby and the bubble bobbled up a little higher. Oh, they giggled and they goggled until all their brains were boggled, as the baby and the bubble rose above the little town. With the problem that's a Scrabble, but what kind of Ken and Dabble, and the problem we must grapple with is bringing baby down. Now, let Mabel stand on Abel, who could stand and turn on Tibble, who could stand on Gribble Gribble, who could stand upon the wall, while the people from the shop will stand to catch them if they tumble. Then perhaps they'll reach the bubble, saving baby from a fall. But Abel, though a treble, was a rascal and a rebel, fond of getting into trouble when he didn't have to sing. Pushing quickly through the people, Abel clambered up the steeple with nefarious intentions and a pebble in his sling. Okay, here, baby. Abel quietly aimed the pebble past the steeple of the chapel at the baby and the bubble wobbling way up there. And the pebble burst the bubble, so the future seemed to fizzle for the baby boy, who gristled as he tumbled through the air. Almost done, baby. What a moment for a mother as her infant plunged above her. There were groans and gasps and gargles from the horror-stricken crowd. Sybil said, "Up on my honor, there's a baby who's a goner." And Krista hissed with emphasis, "It shouldn't be allowed." Almost done, sweetie. But Mabel, Tibble, Greville, and the jogger, Krista Neville, didn't quiver, didn't quaver, didn't drivel, shrivel, wilt. But as one, they made a swivel with action, firm but civil. They divested Mrs. Threeble of her pretty patchwork quilt. Oh, what calculated catchwork! Baby bounced into the patchwork, where his grizzles turned to giggles and to wriggles of delight, and the people stared dumbfounded as he bubbled and rebounded, till the baby boy was grounded and his mother held him tight. And the people there still prattle. There is lots of tittle-tattle for the glory in the story, young and old folk, old and gray, of how wicked Treble Abel tripled trouble with his pebble, but how Mabel and some others saved her brother in the day. That's it. Bubble trouble.